Nebraska's 2025 class is starting to slow down, but the 2026 cycle is just heating up. The Huskers have a massive weekend on their hands. So in today's video, I have a big recruiting update for you. We're going to go over every single player who's in Lincoln. Spoiler alert, a lot of 4 stars and 5 stars, who they are, what they bring to the table, and most importantly, will Nebraska land their talent? So really quick, before we dive into this massive recruiting update, make sure to smash that like button if you're starting to get fired up. And hey, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I post a video about Nebraska football every single day, talking about breaking news, Nebraska recruiting just like this, and the upcoming season. So if you're a diehard fan of the Huskers and you want daily content talking about your favorite team, hit that subscribe button. It would help me out greatly. We're on the road to 5,000. But without further ado, let's get into it. Talking about Husker recruiting, specifically the massive weekend we have on our hands. Now, we're going to be focusing on the class of 2026 in this video. Of course, there's a handful of guys in the class of 2025 and the 2027 class, but we're just going to lock in on 26 because there's a lot of 4 stars and even some 5 stars who will be in Lincoln. So let's start it off with one guy who will no longer be visiting the Huskers. And this is Brandon Arrington. So it was reported on Wednesday morning that he has canceled his visit to the Huskers this Friday. Of course, #1 athlete in the class of 2026, 5-star coming out of LA. But don't panic about Brandon Arrington. He's still very interested in Nebraska. He still loves Matt Rhule and specifically Tony White. It just seemed like a scheduling conflict, and he will be back later in the fall, likely for a game. So just wanted to update you around Brandon Arrington, but let's get into the players who will be visiting, starting off with the #1 player in Iowa, top 150 prospect, Jaden McGregory. And man, is he a great player. Listed at 6'2", 180, has offers all around the nation, Michigan, Tennessee, Iowa State, Kansas State, among many others. And right now, Nebraska is the betting favorite to land him. And he plays safety. So, just watch him on film. He's a complete ball hawk. Go up and get a jump ball type of guy. Bring it back to the house. Also, is a great tackler. Can play in the box. Can even play corner. So, Jaden McGregory, #1 player in Iowa. We've seen Nebraska have a lot of success pulling out players from the Hawkeye State and bringing them over to the Huskers. Let's see if they can do it here again in Jaden McGregory. So, interesting little development there. He will be on campus. A little bit of a late addition, but that guy is probably top 5 on Matt Rhule's board to get in this class. Now, let's take it to a top 100 running back. Demarius Yates will be in Lincoln as well, coming out of Mississippi. And watching him on film, man, is he a track star. Great speed, great explosiveness, has a nice juke move, spin move. Once again, has that ability to take any rush to the house. And there's a reason he's a top 100 prospect according to every single recruiting site. He's a borderline 5-star. On On3, he's the #3 running back in the class of 2026, and the offers reflect that. Alabama, Ohio State, Tennessee, just to name a few. Now, one interesting thing about Demarius Yates, he is coming out of Mississippi. For that reason, he is very close to current Huskers running back Dante Dowdle. That is a very, very interesting development. A little bit of a pure recruiting strategy here. So watch out for Demarius Yates, one of the most coveted running backs in this class, and he will also be in Lincoln. Let's take it to the defense once again here with a 4-star safety / linebacker in Keenan Harris, coming out of the St. Louis area. Listed at 6'1", 200 pounds. And Keenan Harris is just a straight do-it-all type of guy. Again, he can play linebacker. He can play safety. He can play that rover position for Nebraska. He can really do it all. And it's interesting that the Huskers, they've been very after him for a very long time. Again, that we were only his second offer, and a lot of other schools like Ohio State, Oklahoma, Penn State, they jumped on that after the Huskers did. So we're trying to lock down Missouri. We're trying to lock down the St. Louis area. Keenan Harris has a very tight-knit connection with Tony White. And once again, the fact that we were his second offer, the fact that we've been going after him for over a year now, it's going to pay dividends, and he will be in Lincoln. Now, before I get to some of these other players, I should mention the fact that as of right now, Nebraska doesn't have a commit in the class of 2026. It seems like this cycle is very far off, but it's really not. A lot of schools do already have commits. So for that reason, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the guys I'm about to mention or already did mention make it official this weekend or into next week. But let's take it to another Midwest state. 3-star defensive lineman out of Kansas, Hunter Higgins. Now, Hunter Higgins, man, oh my goodness, is he an underrated prospect? He should be the number one player in the state of Kansas. Now, he visited Oklahoma yesterday. He also has connections to Michigan. So those are the two schools to watch out for in his recruiting process. But he loves Nebraska's history. Again, he has been to Lincoln multiple times for Friday Night Lights camps, for visits, talking with Matt Rhule, and he's just a straight game wrecker. I mean, your standard Big Ten defensive lineman. That's where you're getting here in Hunter Higgins. And yeah, I mean, he is special. Really good in the pass rush, really good in the running game. And hopefully the Huskers can land him because he's very interested in Matt Rhule. Let's keep it on the defensive side of the football with another linebacker / safety, Caden Cobbs, coming out of Texas. Another Swiss Army knife 4-star prospect according to On3. And man, is he explosive. I mean, his speed and height just pops out to you immediately when you're watching him on film. Now, Caden Cobbs is your standard Matt Rhule diamond in the rough type of prospect. He doesn't have as many offers as he deserves. Really, only us or Oklahoma State are the true schools in his recruiting process. And for that reason, if Nebraska can do all the right things and wow him this very weekend, I wouldn't be surprised if Caden Cobbs was the first Husker commit in the class of 2026. So definitely a guy to watch out for. Again, plays linebacker, plays safety. The Huskers are after him significantly. A couple other guys here I want to mention. Isaac Jensen, the number one player in the state of Nebraska, will be on campus as well. This is a player that the Huskers have made it very evident they are going after hard. Again, plays tight end, listed at 6'6", coming out of Millard South. Of course, you see the helmet back there. Now, Isaac Jensen is a guy I've talked about in the past, and he has blown up recently. Been getting offers all around the country, FSU, Texas A&M, just to name a few. And for that reason, I try to tell people this, he's not a lock to come to Nebraska, right? A lot of these schools, they're having success coming into Omaha and getting these players. He's interested in them as well. And it should be mentioned that Chase Lofton, another tight end for Millard South, committed to Florida State last year. Wouldn't be too surprised if that happens again here with Isaac Jensen. That's why it's so paramount that you can lock him down. And one thing I also want to just add is that Isaac Jensen and Chase Lofton are on the same team as of right now on Millard South. Isaac Jensen's a year younger, and he's better. He's better. A year younger already than Chase Lofton. Just imagine how good Chase Lofton is as a 4-star. Isaac Jensen is going to be 2 times better. That's how good he is as a prospect, and hopefully Nebraska can get him. One more thing. If Nebraska wants to lock down one school inside the state over the next couple years, even the next decade, it's Millard South. There's going to be plenty of 4-star and 5-star guys that are coming from that school. No joke. They're building a dynasty. All right. One more guy here. This is my favorite prospect in the class of 2026. I had to throw him in. Hudson Parliament, and the number one player in South Dakota, 3-star offensive tackle / offensive guard. And he's a guy that when you watch him on film throughout his sophomore highlights, you will leave that film session so impressed by what he does. I truly believe he's going to blow up this year. He's going to start getting offers from Bama, Georgia, SEC schools. That's how good he is. And right now in his recruiting process, it's honestly us or the Iowa Hawkeyes. He's been wowed by them. He loves their history of bringing linemen to the NFL. So watch out for them specifically, but Hudson Parliament will be on campus, a guy who's going to be a 4-star sooner rather than later. And once again, he's interested in the Huskers. He's been to Friday Night Lights camps, and he can play all over the field on the offensive line. So definitely want to mention him as well. But plenty of guys coming on campus. I'll roll over just a couple other names, once again, who will be in Lincoln. We have James Duggington, 3-star safety. Chase Reynolds, 3-star edge. Landon Blaine, 3-star edge. James Scott, 3-star wide receiver. And then Mike Brown, a 3-star wide receiver as well. So a bunch of other guys in the class of 2026 visiting, but I want to highlight those guys. And then there's also 2 quarterbacks who will be visiting. I'm not going to talk about them in this video. Watch out for tomorrow's video. We're going to dive deep into that in Nebraska. Who are they going to take in the class of 2026? So again, make sure to comment down below. Who do you want most in the class of 2026? Is it perhaps a Caden Cobbs? Is it Isaac Jensen? Is it Brandon Arrington, although he's not visiting anymore? And hey, if you made this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And really quick, I want to promote something. This Saturday, I'm posting the biggest video I've ever done on this channel at 12 p.m. Central at noon. So watch out for it. Make sure to set your notifications. It is huge. You are not going to want to miss out on it. Trust me. So want to plug that really quick. But as always, folks, that'll do it for me here on the Wilson Sports Channel. Go Big Red, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.